Landman redeeming a Taylor Sheridan regular after Yellowstone, and 1883 shows what season 2 needs more of. Taylor Sheridan has redeemed a Landman actor's 1883 and Yellowstone characters, and could continue the positive development to bolster Season 2. Landman Season 1 debuted in 2024 alongside Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, and the neo-Western series is a pretty good replacement for Sheridan's landmark. However, rather than in the atmospheric mountains of Montana, Landman takes place in the West Texas oil fields, with Billy Bob Thornton helming the cast as Tommy Norris, the fixer for Monty Miller's John Hamm, Amtex Oil Company. Still, Landman Season 1 features similar elements to Yellowstone. Many actors reappear in Taylor Sheridan's TV shows, and the screenwriter continued the trend with his Texas series. Thornton himself once showed up in a different Sheridan series, playing the minor yet memorable Marshal Jim Courtwright in 1883. While Season 1 did fairly well as Yellowstone's successor, building on existing actors' performances can keep Landman heading in the right direction. Utilizing one Landman character in particular will make Season 2 the best it can be. In Landman, James Jordan plays Dale Bradley, a petroleum engineer and Tommy's roommate. Jordan's performance is a standout of the Landman cast, with Dale bringing the comedic relief necessary to balance Tommy's turbulent family life with Angela, Ellie Larder, and Ainsley, Michelle Randolph. That said, Landman isn't Jordan's first performance in the Yellowstone franchise. He first appeared in Yellowstone as Montana Livestock Association agent Steve Hendon. Unlike Dale, Hendon is a problematic character who causes issues for those around him, using his livestock badge to the detriment of the cause. Funny enough, Jordan also plays an antagonistic character in 1883's cast, Sheridan's Oregon Trail Crew. Jordan plays Cookie, the chuck wagon cook whom She Brennan, Sam Elliott, hires to cook the wagon train's beef. While Jordan has a funny and likable character of the onset, his impulsive antics ultimately put the entire wagon train in jeopardy when he deviates from James Dutton's Tim McGraw plan to neutralize a conflict with a group of Lakota warriors. Therefore, Jordan's Landman character redeems his other Yellowstone performances, being a character who is easy to root for throughout. Yet Jordan's likability as Dale and Landman can be further harnessed to make Season 2 even better. Landman, building on its ratings in Season 2, would continue a Taylor Sheridan show trend, with the second season outperforming its first. Utilizing Dale more is not only a savvy move due to his appeal, but it also continues an established legacy of Sheridan driving his shows with strong character ensembles. Like with Beth, Kelly Riley, and Case, Luke Grimes, supporting Kevin Costner's performance as John Dutton in Yellowstone. Thornton doesn't hold the new show on his own. In Landman Season 2, the story is likely going to continue to ramp up Amtex's involvement with the cartel. While he isn't always at Tommy's side, Dale is with Tommy when he apprehends his son's assailants and threatens the cartel with other crew members at an oil patch. Landman Season 2 can lean into Tommy and Dale's team-up, ideally putting Jordan on screen more and allowing Sheridan to expand his character. It would be great to have a bit more depth to Dale, explaining his backstory and relationship with Tommy. Including him in exciting, propulsive Landman moments can achieve that. However, the need to further develop Dale can be said of the entire Landman cast. All the characters and actors were great in Season 1. Still, many of Landman's characters exist at the surface level, with the audience only beginning to understand their motivations and intentions in Season 1. Landman characters like Ainsley and Cammy, Demi Moore, fall into this category. Season 2 can elevate and enrich their stories by highlighting the outstanding actors cast for the roles. In particular, there has been buzz about Landman Season 1 underutilizing Moore, and Season 2 will change that. After Monty Miller's ill-fated Landman Season 1 conclusion, his wife Cammie can step up and run antics, as we witnessed in the finale, allowing Moore to better show her prowess in Season 2's story. The screenwriter must also continue to build on Larter's Angela, who we witness evolve in Season 1, satisfyingly. One of Sheridan's assets as a writer and producer is his deft use and reuse of acclaimed actors, and those he cast in Landman should be utilized to their fullest. If Landman has a similar run to Yellowstone, there will be ample time to explore life in Midland. Taylor Sheridan's upcoming series, Landman, has the potential to redeem a familiar face from his creative universe, while also setting the stage for an even more impactful Season 2. With Yellowstone coming to an end in 1883, leaving a lasting impression, Sheridan has crafted a brand that thrives on rugged storytelling, deeply flawed characters, and the gritty realities of the American frontier, whether it's set in the past or the modern-day oil fields of Texas. However, as much as his productions have been praised, certain characters and storylines have left audiences wanting more, either due to unresolved arcs or controversial portrayals. This is where Landman comes in. One of the most intriguing elements of Landman is its ability to breathe new life into a Sheridan regular who may not have gotten their full due in previous projects. Sheridan has a track record of reworking actors in fresh and compelling ways. Just look at how he's continuously reshaped Cole Hauser, Tim McGraw, and Taylor Kitsch in his various projects. Could Landman serve as a redemption arc for a performer who was previously underutilized or whose character arc fell flat? For instance, Jefferson White's portrayal of Jimmy Herdstrom in Yellowstone was a divisive one. Initially introduced as a scrawny underdog who found himself thrown into the deep end of the Dutton Ranch, Jimmy had an inconsistent arc that left fans both rooting for him and frustrated by his choices. He was supposed to be a redemption story of his own, a troubled young man turned true cowboy. But after multiple injuries, departures, and a spin-off setup in 66-66, his journey felt somewhat incomplete. If White were to appear in Landman, he could be reimagined as a completely different character, one with more agency, experience, and grit, rather than someone who constantly finds himself at the mercy of others. Similarly, actors like Luke Grimes, Case Dutton, or even Eric Nelson, Ennis from 1883, could be given a second chance in a setting that fully plays to their strengths. Grimes, for instance, has excelled in portraying the brooding, morally torn cowboy, but Landman could push him in a different direction, perhaps as an oil tycoon's rebellious son or a roughneck with a hidden past. Meanwhile, Nelson, whose Ennis was a fan favorite before his untimely demise, could finally get a leading role that allows him to showcase his full range. Sheridan has always valued loyalty when it comes to his casting choices, and Landman presents a prime opportunity to elevate an actor whose talents were previously limited by their character's trajectory. Beyond the potential redemption of past actors, Landman needs to ensure that Season 2 builds upon the themes and elements that made its predecessor shine. 1883 set a high bar with its raw and unforgiving portrayal of pioneer life, capturing both the beauty and brutality of survival. While Landman is set in modern times, it still needs to embrace the same authenticity and emotional weight that made 1883 resonate so deeply. The best way to do this is by ensuring that Season 2 amplifies its focus on character-driven storytelling rather than getting lost in procedural drama. One of the criticisms Yellowstone has faced is its tendency to become tangled in soap opera-style conflicts and exaggerated betrayals. While drama is necessary, Landman should take a page out of 1883's book and lean into the human struggles that make these stories compelling in the first place. The oil industry is a rich backdrop for storytelling, filled with power struggles, environmental dilemmas, and the personal toll of working in such an unforgiving business. If Season 2 truly wants to stand out, it must dive deeper into the relationships between its characters, ensuring that every betrayal, alliance, and triumph feels earned. Moreover, the cinematography and setting should be treated as characters of their own, just as Sheridan has done in past projects. 1883 made viewers feel every grain of dust on the trail, and Yellowstone showcased the sweeping landscapes of Montana with breathtaking precision. Landman must do the same with Texas, capturing the heat, the grit, and the industrial heart of the state in a way that feels immersive rather than generic. Another key factor for Season 2's success is making sure that its antagonists are as layered as its protagonists. One of the weaknesses in some of Sheridan's works has been one-dimensional villains who serve as little more than obstacles for the main characters. However, 1883 and Yellowstone at their best have introduced complex foes, people with understandable motivations, even if their actions are ruthless. Landman should continue this trend by crafting antagonists who aren't just greedy oil barons or corrupt officials, but rather individuals with personal stakes in the fight.